Salutations, my name is Summer, and this is Sterling Reads, and this is Sylvie. And she's not happy about something. Are you alright? Alright, I was wanting to talk about my most anticipated reads for 2023. I have 10 books here I'd like to talk about. I was excited about them when I first bought them years ago, and I'm still really excited about them. So, also another thing for 2023, I am wanting to make a goal of where I only read 1 or 2 books at a time. I do not want to be reading 6 things anymore. I used to be able to read a bunch of different things at once and keep up with everything, remember everything. I felt like my memory was very good. And now I just feel like I can't keep it together. So we'll see. We'll see if that helps me, just reading 2 things at once instead of reading so many. It's like right now I'm buddy reading A Mutual Friend with Mark over at Book Time with Elvis. And he said, oh, did you catch the mystery of Udolpho's mention? And I'm reading Mysteries of Udolpho right now, and I did not catch that they had talked about it in Our Mutual Friend. Like, how is that possible? Dickens is an author that I feel like I've enjoyed everything he has written, but I'll pick up more and more with each reread of his because he has such of a cast of characters. And this is a great book. Our Mutual Friend, it has so many, it just like goes so in depth of these little tiny things that are happening, and it's mysterious and it's funny, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it, but I'm having a hard time keeping track of, okay, what's his character's name? And yeah, they have great names, but I'm having trouble keeping everybody together, which is weird because I'm also reading Fairy Tale, the ebook by Stephen King. It was gifted to me by Nathan, so thank you, Nathan, if you're watching. I'm loving it. Oh gosh, I love Stephen King so much. And I feel like I'm catching everything with that book. I feel like I'm not having any trouble. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If 2 books, or maybe reading 2 books and listening to an audiobook. I'm trying to already push another book in there. Okay, let's talk about the 10 that I'm really excited about for 2023. I do have some buddy reads that I'm really excited about, but I feel like I'll mention those books as the buddy reads are happening throughout the year. Okay, so the first book I want to talk about is Miss Austen by Gill Hornby. I am a Jane Austen fan. I will read anything about her. This is about her sister Cassandra, and I think it's like 20 years after Jane Austen has passed. We do know, and this is a work of fiction, but we do know that her sister destroyed quite a bit of Jane Austen's letters, and who knows if she destroyed works. It was her decision. I completely respect that because I would not want someone going through my journals and letters, private letters I had to other people, because as we are growing up, sometimes we put our frustrations out in letters, and I wouldn't want someone to judge me for things that I have said in the past. So I completely understand why she would destroy and say, no, these were private. I respect her privacy. Very excited about reading this. I slide it in there without making a bunch of noise. Another book. So I am one of those booktubers that I absolutely love Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. It was gifted to me by a dear friend, Gary. Thank you so much, Gary, if you're watching. So yeah, I loved it. I loved the writing. I loved the family story. I thought, this is how much I knew about it going in. I thought Pachinko was a woman that was going to be in the family. I did not realize it was a game, a very popular game, until about halfway through the book when it told me. So, which is really funny. I don't know what this is about, but I enjoyed her characters and her writing so much. And I love, number one, the book Orange is my favorite color. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the title is intriguing. I want to know more. So a book I've had since 2015 on my shelf. It's gorgeous too. I don't know, you can't really see it, like the stars or snow. So I bought this book when there used to be a TV show on PBS, something about In Their Words, or I forget, but they would interview an author about a new book coming out. And this was one of the authors, Nicola Griffith. And this book had just came out then. I've never read anything by her. I don't know much about her. But I do remember, so I did start it back then, which I'm going to have to restart it because I don't remember pretty much anything. All I remember is that Hild is a young girl, maybe even 6, and a very important man thinks she's a seer, and I can't even remember why they think that, but they're using her for her gift of sight, and they're like, oh, are we gonna win this battle? And of course, why would you tell somebody, no, you're going to lose the battle? I mean, you could die for that. That could be like considered treason back then. So I think that so far she has just been getting by. I don't know. I don't think she's gifted. I think that this is, like historical fiction in a sense, but I don't think it's supernatural. So I don't think she's gifted. I think she's just been getting by telling him what he wants to hear, pretty much, which is what you would do if you wanted to survive. But I'm really looking forward to getting back to this and starting it over. A book I wanted to read a couple months ago was Resurrection by Leo Tolstoy. I'm sorry about the glare. I'm dealing with, it's a very dreary, dark day. But anyway, I wanted to read this a couple months ago. This has an introduction by Anthony Briggs, who translated the edition of War and Peace that I absolutely loved. So all I know about this is it's like a courtroom drama, and the woman who is being judged, she is being accused, I believe, of prostitution. But one of the jurors is a man who took away her innocence when she was very young. And I want to say it was through rape, but I haven't read this, so I'm not for sure. And now he's thinking back, what I did to her, did it cause her to lead the life of prostitution that she led? Which, I mean, it easily could be, because just think, you have an innocent young girl, he forces himself on her, and does she get pregnant? It seems like how I understand it is, it seems like he then disappears. So, like, does she get pregnant? Is she completely ruined? Do people know about this? Because she's not marriage material now. Did her family disown her? Was she then on the streets? With what he did to her, it could have easily made her turn to the life that she lives. I don't know if it did or not, but here's another book where I am intrigued, and like, tell me, So another book, I've wanted to read this since I was a teenager, and I first heard about it, and I still have not read it. The Winter of Our Discontent by John Steinbeck. I just read Of Mice and Men this year. Actually, it was the beginning of this month. And I love John Steinbeck. I am wanting for 2023, I will be doing a Steinbeck September where I will be reading The Grapes of Wrath, and I will have a Voxer group where everyone who wants to read it with, I'm going to say us because I'm hoping that Mark over at Book Time with Elvis will be a co-host, but we have to talk about everything of how we want to do it, and I'm just giving you a little heads up. But yeah, I'm wanting to read this. I'm wanting to read it in January, but I have 2 other things, but one of them small, that I'm wanting to read in January, and I have books that are carrying over. So see, I'm already trying, maybe in February. We'll say February because it's still wintry. Sometimes the weather is worse in February than January here in Ohio. But I don't know what this is about. Have no idea. I just remember as a teenager watching Reality Bites and Ethan Hawke answering the phone saying, hello, you've reached the winter of our discontent, and I've wanted to read it ever since then. So last year or the year before, I read Unsheltered by Barbara Kingsolver, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the characters, I loved the story. I had gifted it to my mom and my sister, and they were not big fans of it. So I think my lighting may... Sylvie, what are you doing? I'm not sure what she's doing, but it feels like trouble for the cord of the lamp. Okay, so anyway, I had heard about this woman, Sibylla Merian. I'm not for sure how to pronounce it. And this is by Kim Todd. She was a naturalist, and I want to say she was born in the 1600s, and when she was 52, she went on this journey, a dangerous journey by ship. And I don't remember every place that it mentioned that she went, but she is the reason why her studies as a naturalist, she is how we found out that caterpillars and butterflies were the same species of like the same insect, because before they used to believe that they were two different things. And this has a bunch of her artwork in here, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, if you can see. And so I'm so excited. I feel like she is such of an inspiration. The work that she did, and to do it at an age, like I'm in my 40s, the idea of being 52 years old and going on this very dangerous journey to be able to draw. And I mean, you can tell she was very passionate about it, and just, anyway, I'm so inspired by her. I want to know more. So a book I bought, so I work 2 jobs, and my day shift job, I found this book, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. It could be even longer now, but I was so excited about it. It is Brewster's Millions by George Barr McCutcheon. When I saw this book, I don't know if you guys remember the movie. It had Richard Pryor, and I want to say it was in the 80s, because I was just a little kid. But I don't know if the book's going to be anything like the movie. In the movie, and this was written in 1902. In the movie, the main character is willed a ton of money. I mean, I want to say maybe even $1 billion. It's a crazy amount for anybody. And in order for him to get that money, he has to spend $1 million. And he has a very short period of time that he has to spend it. But I think the whole point is that when you haven't had money and then you're given a ton of money, that you would just spend it like crazy, and then you don't have anything because you spent all this money. You didn't know how to take care of it. So the whole thing was, you have to spend this, in order to get all this money, you have to spend this $1 million. You're not allowed, he wasn't allowed to, there was rules. So he wasn't allowed to just give it away. He like actually had to buy things with it. And so that made it so much more difficult, because it would be so easy to be like, oh, all these charities, or I want these schools built, or I want, whatever, these animal shelters built, or whatever it is that you're passionate about. But he had to actually spend the money. He couldn't just give things. So, yeah, I don't know if the book is going to, how different it's going to be from the movie, because they made the movie very humorous, I felt like, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And Richard Pryor, Anyway, so we'll find out, I guess. Another book that I've had for a couple of years, I have not read anything by Kate Mosse, but I heard about the burning chambers. I think it's 1500s France. And like 2 different religions are at war. I don't remember what religions. I don't know anything else, but like I said, orange is my favorite color. So when I saw this book, I wanted it so badly. So it's been sitting on my shelf for not very long. 2019 is when I bought it, so not too long. Not like some of these other ones. the last book I want to talk about that I'm so excited to read. I know nothing about it. I bought it at a library book sale. I want to say it was like 50 cents. I know it's like another way of saying Ireland, but I'm not for sure the exact pronunciation. By Liam O'Sheil. Hopefully I said that right. The only thing I know about this is really big on the back. It says, it's a dramatic saga of a people struggling to survive against great odds. And I think it's about a brother and sister, and the sister is more of a warrior and he's more of maybe a poet or something. I started a couple pages of it a couple years ago, and then I got distracted by something that was easier to read, so I'm going to have to start it over. And I remember really thinking this is a book I could fall into, and that's why I want to stop reading so many books at one time. If I read, so I love audiobooks, but I cannot, when it comes to most audiobooks, unless it's like a fun suspense or something light, I cannot get into an audiobook. I have to see the words and then I'm in the book. But in audiobooks, very rarely. Now, I like A Christmas Carol, I've read it 3 times. So I can listen to it and I get so much more out of it because I already know it. But if it's new and I have to create the characters in my mind, I have a hard time with audiobooks keeping up. But as rereads, I absolutely love them. And there have been certain times when I could listen to one and I could completely get it, and it's a lot of fun. But other times, like Dickens, I couldn't, unless it was a reread. Like Our Mutual Friend right now, I would have trouble, I'm having trouble keeping up. Anyway, but I think it's because I've been sick. But besides that. So I'm excited about these books. Please let me know how you guys are doing. What books are you anticipating for 2023? Is there anything you're really excited about? Anything you want to finish up? I hope you guys are all able to finish up what you're reading for this month. Like I said, I will not be able to, but it's because I don't want to rush. You know, I decided Our Mutual Friend, I'm going to try to complete that one because we have Mark and I have another buddy read in January I'm really looking forward to. So I would like to finish Our Mutual Friend before he starts the next book. But yeah, I'm excited about this coming year. I hope to make a video about all the series, which there's so many series. So I'll do that soon. Anyway, yeah, so I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the end of 2022, and that you're staying warm and that you're safe. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.